Good morning, everyone. And I'm very, very, very happy because after testing with Sifu Stephen Watson for so many times, and looks like we're going to have him today. Yes, we're going to have him today, and in the studio. And I have been chatting with him for 30 minutes. Everything worked out fine. So I keep my fingers crossed, and then my yes, both sides, and my toes crossed, and hopefully he can join us in 30 minutes. And now I'm still waiting. Yes. Okay. Good. Let's get started with our regular routine. How about that? Yes. Boys and girls, I invite you just in case this is the first time you come to this free daily Tai Chi class. And during this class, I will do both sitting and standing. And you decide what you want to do, sitting or standing. Or you can get up and down, just like me. And it's your choice. Bring your two hands together, go to the front, to your right side, toward yourself, left and front. And now go all the way around. Circle your wrist. It's very important. Rotation, rotation, and rotation. Good. And let's go for two more. Just one and two. Good. Now reverse to your left, yourself, right, and front. Very good. Keep going. Let's go for two more times. Here's one and two. Good. Stretch. And now bring the hands to yourself and circle around your body. And this is a horizontal rotation of your elbows. Very good. Bring both hands together, palm facing each other. Turn the palms down and circle. Good. This is so thrilling, actually part of the chin style so thrilling. And but we can use it as a great warm up. Let's go for two more. Just one and two. Good. And next, and bring both your hands to your shoulders, elbows down, and now up, 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 all the way sending to the back. Good. Do you feel the movement in your shoulders, your shoulder blades, and maybe in your spine as well? Good. Like I say, you do it sitting or standing, but make sure the motions is big. Okay. Motions, maybe I should say motions are big. Okay. And let's go for two more. Just one and two. Good. Elbows down. And now reverse. Well, maybe by now you probably noticed I was born and I have as Chinese and I have the Chinese heritage in Chinese language, and there is no, for most part, no singles or pearls, so it's all very easy. And yeah, English is tough for me. Let's go for two more. Is one and two. Relax. Shake your hands. Yeah. Yay! And now slowly bring your hands upward and passing your shoulders. Keep going and passing your head. And once it's over your head and fingers point at ceiling, woo! It's like screen light bulbs. Turn really, really quick. Woo! And now shake your hands down And I have been teaching Tai Chi and Qigong to various demographic groups, and actually you name that, I have taught them all. And now, up and down with your heel. And if you're doing, see, up and down, this can help to get up the bone. And then if you're sitting, you're also doing the same thing. Even though, okay, now heels are down, and keep shaking your hands. And now slowly, slowly, slowly coming to a stop. Can you feel the tingling sensations in your fingers? Very good. And as I mentioned, and I have taught Tai Chi to all age groups. And some of the people have issue to do this very simple movement. But if we keep working, we will not lose the range of motion. And this kind of motion, and then you may see this. What do I do with it? A lot. We use this a lot. And you turn the doorknob, right? And you do the screw, the driver things, and a lot. Even though when you're stirring up some things, and then you have this kind of motion. So it's very important we keep exercising, and so we don't lose the functions. Okay, now gentle fist. And turn to your right side twice, then turn to your left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 3, 2. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, stop. Good. And now, kick from behind, shake. Very relaxed. Relax your shoulders. Yes. Relax your elbows. Relax your legs. All right. Good. And now, gentle fist again. 1, 2. Feel the stretch in your chest. Now hands up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, stop. Good. Two hands together. And now making the V shape with your index and middle finger, and put one behind your ears and the other in the front. Good. And just up and down. Massage your ears. And there are so many pressure points on your ears, especially earlobes. And now, face together again. And massage your neck. Knees down. And now, head down. Feel the gentle stretch in the back of your neck. Up center. Now tilt to your right shoulder. Up center. Here to your left shoulder. Up center. Now look at ceiling. Back to center. Look over your right shoulder. Back to center. Left shoulder. Back to center. Now hands together. And now if you can, the palm of your hands over your kidneys, and then you do the circling or up and down. And if doing this is difficult for you, you can use the back of your hand and doing this type of massage. Yes. Good. And now hands together. Massage your knees. If you're standing now, gently using your hand to guide your knees outward movement. And now, if you're sitting and pick up your heels and then do our circling. Very good. And now reverse. Now you do the in and out. Very good. Keep going. Okay, good. And if you're standing, place your right foot behind, and now you use your ankle to do rotation. You're sitting, pick up your right foot and the right leg, and then rotate your ankle. And now reverse. Very good. And then put it down. And now you're standing, place your left foot in the back and do your ankle rotation. You're sitting, pick up your left leg. And you're doing ankle rotation as well. Very good. All right. And now reverse. Put it down, good. And now next we're going to do the front lunges. You have your right foot in the front, but make sure your right knee is either above your ankle or behind. And keep your back foot on the ground. And you do downward pausing, okay? Don't do this. Don't push over. When I do this, I could feel the stress on my knee. And then if you're sitting, pick up your right foot and now gently pressing down. Okay, okay, now the other way, and your left foot in the front, right foot in the back, and then you do downward pausing. If you're sitting, pick up your foot, and now you do this, stretching. Okay, good. And now if you're standing, legs open wide, and then switch to your right side. And then if you're sitting, bring your right foot in and out, in and out. Two more. If you're standing, now shift weight to your left. And if you're sitting, in and out. Two more. And last one. Good. And now, tap on your legs. Very good. And going down. And the hands behind your leg and extra padding behind your knees. And coming up. And the butt into the side. And now, be open. And now going down. Extra padding outside of your knee, going down, like 3 fingers down, 2 centimeters for your stomach, and keep going down. And you tap on your feet, inside your ankle, 4 fingers above your ankle, standing jump, extra padding, coming up, share height. Extra padding. Okay, good. And now you can just drum up your own stomach. All right. Okay. And now let's do the 8 sections of rotate. And then if you're standing or sitting, feet hip width apart. Round your hands to the front. Keep your knees softly bent. Inhale and exhale. In and out. Last time, in and out. Now join your fingers, with palms upward, lift yourself up, look at ceiling, and now look at screen, move arms further back, feel your lower back arched, and hands together. Keep your arms really straight, look up, look at the screen, and open. 两手托天与三交 up, look straight and open. Both hands push to the sky. Look up, look straight, open. This is great for the health of the spine, shoulders, lower back, and triple walnuts. Last time. And open. Good. And the next one, if you're standing, open your legs wide, but keep your toes slightly in, okay? And then you can do the high stand, medium, or low, okay? And then you pick your options, and the important part is not how low you go, it's how well you do with your arms. And then let me just show you. Both hands crossed at the wrist. Slowly pull your arms apart, left arm straight, and the right arm bend into your right side. And see the right hand, this is flat. And then your left hand like 90 degrees at the wrist. And now open the right, both hands crossed, and pull. Relax your shoulders, open your left, cross, pull, right, cross, pull. Do not turn your body, only turn your head. 左右开弓四射雕 bow and arrow. This is great for the health of the heart and the lungs. Let's do one more set. First on your left and right. And relax. Good. And the next one, both hands facing up. Slowly bring your left hand up and twist. Right hand down. Right fingers point forward. Good. Okay, and now inhale. Exhale, left up, right down. Good. Together. Right up, left down. Together. Okay. Both hands together. This time left up, right down. Inhale. Right up, left down. 调理脾胃虚肝举 and to improve the health of your stomach and spleen. You raise your arms alternately. And last set. Normally these exercises you do 6 sets, but it's okay. You can do more. It's definitely no harm, and you can also tailor to your own needs. And this 7 altogether there are 8 movements, and this exercise is called 八段锦 or 8 sections of brocade. Brocade is a very, very fun, exquisite fabric, and it just shows, this exercise has huge health benefit, and besides, it provides the benefit as all the other stretching exercises. It has additional health benefit because it is designed by based on the so-called meridian system. And now both hands facing down. Open your arms. Keep arms straight. And now body now moving. Turn your head to left and back. Open. Look to right and back. 五劳七伤往后瞧。Rise out, turn the head. This is great for the health of the liver and also the digestive tract and back. And now let's go for a couple more. First on your left and right. And last set on your left and right. Very good. And the next one, open your legs wide and you're standing, 4 fingers in the front and then with your thumb in the back. And you can choose your level, high, medium, or low. Okay? And if you're sitting, both feet come out 45-degree angles and make sure your knee is behind your ankle. You don't want to be like that. You want to stretch out, okay? And you sit up straight and hands on your knees. And now let's go together. Head down, swing to your left knee in circle. Good. And now swing your head from your left knee to your right. 摇头摆尾去心火. Now from right to left. Good. And now from left to right. Good. Keep going. And by swinging our head and tail, this can reduce the inflammation in our body. Good. And let's finish up. Very good. Now bring both feet in, hip width apart. And then if you're standing, arms up, fingers, hands facing each other, then bring them down. Flip the palms, hands to the back. Keep your legs straight. Round the hands behind the legs. First touch the heels, the toes, arms to the ears, and up. And then you're sitting, doing the same thing. Now flip the palms to the back, round the hands behind the legs. Touch the heels, the toes, to the ears, and up. I'm screaming so loud because there are a lot of noise around me, so I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. Once I start screaming, my voice, on my throat, get very itchy. Sorry about that. Up. Sorry, this is a makeshift studio. It's not professional grade at all. And last one. Good. And now, like that. Bend your thumb, 4 fingers wrap around. Bring the fist to your waist. Right fist out, open, turn. Open your eyes big. When you turn your wrist and turn your wrist at a 90-degree angle, this one is called 转拳入目真气力. Open your eyes wide and twist your wrist. Last one. Good. Now up on your toes and down. And when you come down, just let the gravity does its job. And bring your body down. So your body may shake a little bit, which is good. And don't use any control. And also don't use any force to drive your heels down, okay? Just relax and let the gravity does its best. And last one. All right. And now shake it. Like I said, and I am very, very excited. And finally, after this try and error for a couple of weeks, and hopefully it's working. And so Sifu Stephen Watson will be with us today. And I did not know Steve Watson until a few years ago, and at Tai Chi Gala. Tai Chi Gala is a very wonderful Tai Chi Chuan event hosted by Sifu Loretta Warren. And so we go to places like Poconos, and we were there teaching Tai Chi and Qi Gong and other internal martial arts. And people coming from all of the US, Canada, and sometimes in the Caribbean countries, and also UK, they will join and then to learn it. And it was I was very honored to be invited to teach there. And I think maybe 3 years ago, Stephen Watson was there, and then that's how I met him. And Stephen, I did not realize that he was push hands champions, both nationally and internationally for a few times. And he is in the so-called super heavyweight. Yes, you're going to see him in a few minutes, and he is very tall, 6'2" or 6'3", and he doesn't even know that himself since he's the Taoist. And so, and but when you see him in person, he's like this big teddy bear, and with a jovial personality. It's really, really fun to deal with. Of course, when he gave me a bear hug, I just disappear, right? And but he is also a poet, and he writes poems, and he talk. He's as I mentioned, he's a Taoist, so he's a philosopher. So when he speaks, and his words not only beautiful, and sometimes he put smiles on people's face, and sometimes he put tears in people's eyes, but those are the tears of joy. And without further ado, let me bring Stephen into the studio. Hello, Stephen. How are you? Okay, you still live. Can you say a few words so I know we can hear you? I cannot hear you. What happened? Right before my class, I talked to Stephen for more than 30 minutes, and everything worked very well. And now, I hope we don't. Okay, can you say a few things? I cannot hear you. Can anyone else hear Stephen? I do have my mic turned on this time, like one time. Okay. What happened? Oh my God. In Chinese, they're saying called 好事多磨. Good things always, doesn't come by easily. That's challenge. Hi, okay, but how are we going to follow your instruction if we cannot hear you? Yeah, I have comments back from audience, students. They cannot hear you either. So it's not just me like last time. I was okay. Okay, Stephen, still, shall I rejoin? Okay, please do so. Okay, and let's try that out. And like I say, technology is wonderful. It works, and when it doesn't work, it's really troublesome. And I mean, I have worked with all these how should I say instructors um, and test the system out within. Okay, Stephen, say something.
Hello.
Yes, and you're live now. All right. Okay, I'm going to bow out now.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you for the patience. I didn't press any buttons. I don't know what happens. You mentioned when we met, and my memory of that, I'm just practicing my standing here while I talk, just trying to find a good footing, feel my body settle in, feel the head top reach to the sky, let my tissues settle, and my mind, my breath, my heart return to the settled and centered being. I remember when I met you, we were in the lobby of the hotel and at the checkout desk, and you were coming in, and I'm a big guy and you're a smaller lady, and you came up to the desk to check in, and I'm pretty sure that you got a really good discounted rate because you had this really big sword that you were holding when you were checking in. So that was my first memory. So the practice here is going to be some self-massage for a couple of meridians, the lung and the large intestine, where we kind of begin our organ clock. And so I kind of have a three-step process. I want to locate the meridian. I want to awaken the meridian, and then I want to circulate or express with the meridian or the organ or the system. And so I'm standing here. I'll give you the profile here with my palms at the side of my legs or hips, wherever your hands hang. And there's a slightly different sensation than how my hands might hang normally, a little bit in front. So I have a little bit of this shape, which is a different feeling just in here, where the arm has this groove between the pectoral and the shoulder. So it's a little bit like a gunfighter kind of feeling, but not quite as expressed. And so I'm just standing. This is the mother exercise in Tai Chi Chuan, the standing practices, right? Zhan Suang. So I'm inhaling through the nose and exhaling through my palms. Inhaling through the nose, exhale through the palms, the heart of the palm. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly, as I settle into this, I want to begin to feel that exhalation from the palms against my legs. I'm becoming aware of the space between my palm and my legs. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So a very subtle practice. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the palms, until eventually I begin to feel that the exhalation moves my palms a little bit away from my legs, like thrust. Just subtle. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So a couple of qualities that we'd like to look for in Taoist breathing, something that we might be doing in our Tai Chi Chuan or Qigong practice. We'd like the quality of the breath to be complete. So complete in the inhalation, complete in the exhalation. We'd like the breath to be deep. We'd like the breath to be easeful. We'd like the breath to be quiet. So a couple usual qualities I'm seeking here. And so now we've kind of located the lung meridian, which generally speaking is just along here. And I'm going to open my left arm from the shoulder joint and float the left palm in front of the left foot. And bring the right palm up here, here, and here. And you're going to have a lot of questions already, but we're going to do this a whole bunch of times. And I will hopefully in the teaching here slowly address any questions which might come up. So for now, we're interested in our good posture, our quality breathing, our good centeredness in our feet. And then I'll bit by bit share more information on this self-massage. So I'm generally tracking this large intestine line, but I'm not in acupuncture school. I'm not trying to be very specific. I'm just generally following this. If I can follow this with my mind and my breath, my yi and my, I call the ni feng, the inner breath, the inner breeze, I can do that pretty perfectly. My hands, maybe not that perfect. Maybe I missed the point and I missed the line a little bit. But I can do the same practice just here with my mind and my breath moving the qi through the system. It's a little nicer to do it with the massage and have a little mechanical manipulation, a little bit improved and deepened. But I don't want to elicit or engender any worry as I do this. Did I miss it? Am I inaccurate? So the general quality of the massage is one of hugging. So I'm trying to hug with my hand as I move through the line. So I'm kind of cupping my hand and hugging my body with my hand. But I'm not hugging, I'll give you the profile, I'm not hugging so tightly that I'm staccato or I get stuck. So there's a little bit of an embrace, but I want this smooth effleurage as we go. So there's a little up here as I move the thumb along that groove. If you can't feel the groove, you can move your arm to find it. Here. And then my palm is trying to find my tricep, which drags my thumb along the base of the bicep. And then my thumb drags along the forearm here, along the radial bone. And then I come out to the end and I have a little squeeze of my thumb. And I'll come closer and give you a different view in a few minutes. This can be done seated, and so I'll take a seat so you have a better view. But what I'm interested in doing here is having my arm extended, but Tai Chi extended. So for me, Tai Chi extended is about that far. I'm not going to really ever do this in Tai Chi. I'm certainly not going to do this. So that for me is an extended arm in Tai Chi. I'm not willing to pull myself out of alignment or certainly out of balance or introduce strain to the system. So I have this extended arm, but now I want to find this balance between having the palm up, so the heart of the palm meets the sky, but I also want to have the armpit open where the heart meridian begins. And so there's my armpit open, but there's my palm up, but there's my armpit open. So I'm trying to find a balance between those two things. So right now my palm is not precisely skyward, but my armpit's a bit open. So I'm trying to find that balance while keeping the hand in front of its own foot or hip. So if I don't keep my hand in front of my foot, it's kind of easy to keep the armpit open and the palm up, but that's not the practice. Good. So the lung is an organ, a yin organ of basic immunological support. These days, a lot of people are thinking about their lungs. This is external pathogen expelling. The organ has the emotional energy of sadness or grief. Those are things that can really trouble it. Now you'll notice that with this arm extended in front of the foot and the other arm needing to reach the thumb to finish, I don't quite reach. And so I have to have a little stretch in the massaging arm to reach. I'll do it downward so you can see. It doesn't quite reach. So in order to reach, I have a little stretch through the massaging arm. But I don't want that stretch to be with my torso turning or my torso leaning. I want to feel that stretch from the shoulder blade through the shoulder. So while I'm massaging, in this case my right arm, I'm stretching my left. And then the same thing happens here, of course. Meanwhile, I've been practicing my standing. Knees bent, weight evenly distributed, way loose sinking, spine straight, shoulders releasing, head suspended. Good. And continuing, I said we do it a lot. Now, in order to get my palm to triceps, the heart of the palm on the triceps, my left, my massaging arm in this case, has a little compression and a little folding. So it goes through this compression and folding to reach, and then it goes through a lengthening and stretching here. Let's talk about the breathing now. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then this little emphatic squeeze at the end of the thumb. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So of course, if your breathing can be nice and slow, you can slow the whole massage down. I'm trying to go a little faster than I normally do it so that we get some repetitions in and we have a chance to learn it. Learning is not practicing. Learning you do with your teacher, practicing you do with yourself. Here, enter. So my right arm has just gotten a compression and a fold and then a lengthening and a stretching. So now that energy comes out into this Qi ball, or this energy, and then I'm massaging my lung here without contact, massaging the lung with that energy, and then inviting that energy into the lung line here, and then expressing through the lung meridian here, and then expressing out of the meridian, out into the palms, which I inhale and bring over, and then massage what was just lightly worked, the tissues of the left arm, and then expressing through the meridian here. So I'm going to come in a little bit closer here so you can get a little bit more of the detail. Cup of tea. And now me. So here, hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Massaging, notice that I'm keeping the hand in front. And now my thumb is working along that radial bone out to the tip, and then across. So actually the lung line ends just here in the corner of the nail of the thumb, so the outer corner at the base of the nail, and you can look that up too if you can't see it all that well. So I'm actually trying to massage the whole lung line with the end of my lung line here. So that point, which I'll try and exaggerate, there's my thumb, and then with my palm on my tricep, that puts my thumb about on the base of the bicep here, and then my thumb works its way slightly over to this aspect of the forearm here, and then I come out and the 2 points touch, and I get a little emphatic squeeze here, and then come across. So this practice can be done walking, standing, sitting. We have this nice meridian that happens on the arms. So when you're getting into the urinary bladder meridian massage, or the kidney is a little hard to get to the whole organ system while you're walking, needing, as you would, to touch the toes and the legs. So that's a little bit more detail there, and then we're gonna finish here. So I start on my massaging the left arm, and I'll finish on the right arm. I guess we don't need that. And we finish on the right arm, and then I'll come in and I'll rest my palms on the chest so that my fingers find the beginning of the lung line. Lung 1 and 2 are here. The lung 2 is Yunmen. It's called Cloud Gate. It's this high point on the lung line close to the clouds, Yunmen. And so standing here, I'm just kind of checking in with myself. How is my breath? How is my mind? What do my feet feel like? How do my hands? Warming the lung line. I kind of think of this like a blanket, a comforting blanket over the lung line. And release. And then I'll do a lung Qigong. And I think we have a minute or two left, so we'll just do a brief lung Qigong. But this could be anything, like I think I'll do a little Bing Shui, so an arm swingy exercise. But it could be any lung Qigong you have. If you have the beginning of your form for the lung, your commencement or salutation movement, that's perfect. Just do that a number of times. So I've kind of located the lung here, and then I've awakened it, and then I want to circulate it a little bit. And sometimes I'll do 10 or 12 lung Qigongs just to really work it for like an asthmatic or something. So here I'm just going to do here, here, here. So I'm floating the wrists, so the Wagwan and Naguan points, and floating the wrists, and floating the wrists. So I have floating the wrists, floating the wrists. So I have 3 points. I have one forward, about collarbone level or so. So I have a slight closing in the lung 1 and 2, as though to sort of squeeze the toothpaste tube and start to get that energy moving in that meridian here. And then I have just a slight opening in the start of the lung line here. So I'm not way behind myself, I'm just off to the side. But a slight opening, and then I have a neutral, like we have in the beginning of our Tai Chi form. So a little closed, a little open, a little neutral, and this could be done walking as well. Closed, open, neutral, closed, open, neutral. And I think that's about the time we have. So I don't know if Violet will finish or not, but Sifu Lee, yeah, she's coming on now.
Well,
I don't know how much time we have. So
you
I'm
have
guessing.
another 5 more minutes, but that's
Oh, great. Let's do a little bit more. Hooray.
That's okay.
Good.
This more or less, I would say,
Good.
but
Yeah, if we have a couple more minutes, let's use it. Perfect.
Okay.
So I've just started here, just checking in on the large intestine. Every organ is paired in traditional Chinese medicine theory, and the lung is paired with the large intestine, and that's at its height at 5 to 7 in the morning, which means the lung was 3 to 5 a.m. And so I'm just coming up on the right side and down on the left, up on the right side, down on the left, up on the left, up on the right, I should have said, down on the left. So I'm just checking in with that. Now when I do this, I like to use my whole body. So rather than just this, I like to shift, sink, shift, rise, so that my body is moving with this. So let's give this a try as another lung practice here. Good. So for the slightly more advanced version, we'll start left, massaging the lung line here. And once we get the squeeze, I'm going to touch the index fingers and run along the top of the hukou, along the radial bone, reaching over to the point of the elbow. And now the palm is over the mount, the crest of the bicep. And come up to the top of the shoulder. At this point, the massaging arm, I'm going to float the elbow and pull this across in parallel with the collarbone, across the SCM and the carotid, around the mouth, and then here, and I'll come in a little bit closer so that you can see where I'm ending, the corner of the nose, top of the philtrum, and edge of the cheek. And that point in traditional Chinese medicine is called fragrance welcoming. So that's an easy one to remember. So now I have lung, and then I connect the index fingers where the large intestine begins, moving along the side of the index finger, toward the top of the webbing between the thumb and forefinger. And then we're going to be coming along the edge of the forearm here, the bone, the radial bone side. And we just kind of dip a little bit close to the elbow point here, and that puts my palm over the bicep. That keeps my index finger on the large intestine line. There's 2 points for the large intestine on the top of the shoulder. So at this point, I float the elbow and I turn my head so that I can drag that index finger parallel to the collarbone, just about across the carotid here. And then we come to this side, and then I just turn my head back forward, and that puts my finger on left hand on the left side of my face. And from there, I just come into lung. So now I'm just working lung, large intestine in concert here. And we'll do this once more each side, and then we'll finish up. Try and pay attention to our time promise. This is a little bit more involved, but again, it's an arm meridian, so it's pretty easy to do this walking or sitting. And the large intestine supports the work of the lung. They both largely have similar functions in Chinese medicine, so I kind of think of it as a two-person team trying to address the same problem. And then I might finish that, again, checking in on the large intestine or doing another large intestine specific Qi Gong. So thank you all very much for joining, and appreciate the patience through the technical challenges. What are you going to do, Taoist?
Well, thank you very, very much, Sifu, Stephen. And today you share some kind of different technology and to me it's a meditation Qigong. And but the technique you use, and can you just explain a little bit? And because you are using your hands, kind of gently touching one hand touching the other arm, and then you talk about how the energy move. And um, to a lot of people, they may think, what is that? Does that really work? And so what is the technique?
Well, for one, it can just help. I don't know if I'm talking too loudly. I just realized I'm close to the camera now. For one thing, it can help you just to learn and map the meridian and become a little bit more familiar. For the general student, my concern at that point is that they don't take on any anxiety about it, about how specific I have to be and when did the needles come into this. I'm just rubbing myself. It's fine. You can soap yourself in the shower. You can do this. So I like people to have a fairly gentle experience with it, as opposed to worry. And then we get into other issues of qi stagnation or rebellious qi in the stomach or something. And so for one, it can help you kind of map it and become familiar with it. And then that changes how you do your Qigong and how you do your Tai Chi Chuan. Oh, wow, that's where we touch here in the form. Like, I wonder if, when I'm doing shoulder stroke, is that thumb touching lung 1 and 2 for a reason? Is that a relation that I can explore? So that's part of it, the kind of the mapping. The other part of it is that when we're doing Qigong, and I kind of think of this as a Qigong or a Dao Yin or a self-massage or a Tui Na kind of a practice, when right now my mind can be anywhere in the universe. Like I'm just sort of daydreaming right now. And if somebody touches me here, my mind is here. My mind just went there. And if somebody touches me here, or if that itches, wherever I might have been, that's where I am.
So it's kind of like wellness type of things, right?
Yes.
And so mindfulness, I should.
Yes. So by touching the body, I'm practicing giving my mind a place to go and following this path, so that if I touch, I'm supporting my mind, staying present in the body. And if I can coalesce the consciousness, like we did in the beginning, we kind of came into our stance. If I can do that, then I have a chance at sensing the qi, or leading the qi, or benefiting from the qi, or whatever those Chinese people promise about what happens in the body. I don't know, but it feels nice to do this, and I'm getting a little stretch, and I'm practicing my standing. So that's good enough for me. If it happens to move the qi or does this magical Taoist stuff, that's great. I'll take it. But the physical touching of the self can help direct the mind and stabilize the mind in concert with the circulations of the body. When we talk about circulations of the body in the West, we might just think about blood. That's kind of what comes to mind. But the electrical signals circulate in the body. The mind circulates in the body. The breath circulates in the body. In Tai Chi Chuan, we talk about the qi circulating in the body. So I'm interested in all the things that circulate. Among those is my mind. Can I keep my Western mind present long enough to have an effect, or did I just kind of daydream in the back of class? We're following the teacher, and okay. And so the physical touching really helps, whether I'm doing it on somebody else, a client, or myself. It really clicks in as a daily practice.
Yes, I think that it's very interesting. And in Chinese medicine, I think it's called Dao Yin, just like you said. And you use your mind to move the energy. And then in another system, in yoga, they call Nidra. And I think it's very, very close.
Yoga Nidra,
yeah. And this is a very, very interesting topic. And I wish we would have more time to delve into it and talk about more. And so thank you so much, and for overcoming all the difficulty. I know you have been extremely busy with your own teaching, and and then you're willing to go through, jump through the hoops, so to speak, and to come
It's worth
here.
it for you, Sifu.
I'm really, really grateful, and thank you again so much. Oh,
Can I let people know how to find me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good way to find me. I don't know if you
Yes,
can read it.
that's right. I was going to talk about it, and Sunday Farm. Yes, Sunday Farm. Hopefully one day we all go to the Sunday Farm.
Yeah,
It's so
please,
nice, your studio.
Thank you
And
so very much.
thank you so
You're
much
welcome anytime.
for
Be
coming.
safe, be healthy, and breathe.
Yes. And you know what? This morning I listened to NPR. They were saying now California require everybody to wear a mask, especially if you go to grocery store or whatever, right? And then say some people feel uncomfortable because you cannot see the smile, because we cannot touch cannot shake
Yeah.
hand, and we cannot smile. Then what do you do? I
It
say
really separates,
yes, this way, and the Chinese martial art way, and then respect. And thank you very much for coming. Okay, and everyone else, I see you tomorrow, and send us some notes, and send question to me or to Stephen Watson directly on Facebook. Okay, thanks. Bye.